All right, welcome to another broadcast, live broadcast. This is our health broadcast. I have been focused on really trying to set aside Sundays for our health broadcast. And so, you'll see me, I'll hit it sometimes, most of the time I'll miss it, but I'm getting there. I am definitely getting there. We are broadcasting live right now here on our Samba Journeys page, but also on Samba Tree YouTube page. So just wanted to let you know you got two options to see this baby, okay? Anyway, in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be a really, I am looking forward to this broadcast here. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and let's hit it.
Yeah. Right away.
We're going to be covering quite a bit of news today, so make sure you stay tuned.
We were with you when the world slowed down. Healing herbs when hope ran out. From our natural medicine cabinet to your door. Loving the roots, that's what we're here for. Yeah. It's not just orders, it's hearts we serve. We pour our love in every herb. When you need a little light to see, you can always lean on Samba Tree. Protect your peace, let your spirit flow. Stop the cycle, let the sickness go. We love to teach what we know and grow. You're part of the forest that helps Samba Tree to grow. Help Samba Tree to grow. Healing begins right here at home. It's okay to take time for your soul. When family was in need, we were there. Still here now, still showing care.
All right, welcome again to another broadcast. I'm so glad that you guys could join us today. Today is October the 19th, 2025, and I'm so glad that you guys could be here. Another beautiful day here in sunny Arizona. The temperature right now is 85 degrees. 85 degrees. It's beautiful outside. I don't know where you are in the country or in the world for that matter, but if you are alive and you're listening to me today, it's definitely a beautiful day. Whatever happened yesterday, whatever happened last year, whatever happened many years ago, we focusing on the right now, because it's right now where we can determine and shape our future. All right. So so glad that you guys could join us on the tail end of this weekend. And I know they supposedly had here in the United States, I think they were all over the world. I guess they had the old, the protest or whatever, and nothing burger basically. And, people gonna do what they're gonna do or whatever. And, you just live your life. Okay. You live your life and live it to the fullest. And that's really what we're all about here, living our lives and living it to the fullest. Okay, so today in this broadcast, we're going to be we're going to be talking about some of the highlights in health news, okay? Things that I think maybe some of you may not even have been aware of, all right? Then there's also going to be some things that have been going on for some time, and what's happening, and we kind of knew this was going to happen, is people will eventually get tone deaf to some of these things. But we got to bring it back and say, no. You got to stay on alert, not in fear, but be on alert that this stuff is still going on, right? So we're talking about that. We're also going to get into someone actually emailed us this week and they had a health related question. And we'll say right off the riff here, we are not licensed medical people on this end here, but we can provide some very general information. If you are under the care of a licensed physician, then he or she is your primary care person, right? But it doesn't stop you from looking in other sources, and it doesn't stop you from using your brain to make the right choices for you. Okay. So yeah, so we got that all out of the way, but we are going to be listening to during this broadcast, different licensed professionals, and you're going to be shocked in some of this stuff that they're saying that's going on now. Again, we are not here to provide fear. It's just for you to be alert and aware so that you can prepare. All right. And I was trying to think of something else to rhyme at the end of that. But anyway, good to see everybody in the chat as you guys are coming in. Really appreciate that. Also want to make you aware, we have our super sale going on right now over on sombertree.com. Make sure you check that out. Up to 30% off. Up to 30% off of just about the entire store. I think that excludes bulk items. So up to 30% off. And go check that out right now over at sombertree.com. Big shout out again to all of our customers over in the Saba Tree family. We wouldn't be here without you. Every tree has its own ecosystem, and Saba Tree is no exception to that. So we really appreciate each and every one of you. We had a video that my wife and I put out earlier. Was it earlier this week or earlier last week? Sorry, where we were just kind of giving you up to date on some of the things that Samba Tree, the growing pains that we've been going through, and you guys have been there with us, and we really appreciate that so much. And so we wanted to do something very special for the Samba Tree family. So make sure you check that out. Go to sambertree.com and check that out. And as an added bonus, we sent out in the email 2 songs that we're trying to figure out, okay, which one do we like? I don't know. We need your help. We need your input. So that was one you just heard. There's another one too. I'm leaning towards one of them, but the other one is good too. So check your email or go to our community page. And when you go to, and that's on the Samba Journeys YouTube page, I have the link to the email. You can click on that and it will take you to where you can download both songs, and they're just yours. You can enjoy it and do what you want to do with them. Okay. You just want something, you just want to groove. Trust me, we got some other ones. I've been writing this off and on this weekend. Yes, yours truly have been writing music, and I'm going to continue to do it because that is who I am. All right. So yeah, so we got some more coming down for you. So make sure you be on the lookout for that. Okay. So all that being said, let's go ahead and get into our I want to get into this story first, and then we're just going to be hitting topic after, going from one story to the next, to the next, to the next. Okay. That's how we're going to do this. Okay. All right. So have you guys, many of you guys are aware of the fact that there's a person by the name of Bill Gates, or I like to call him Bill Gates of hell. He basically has made it very clear on what he wants to do to control the population, or better yet, to depopulate the population. And, you know, this is something that he has been doing quite regularly in places like the continent of Africa. You know, because it is their belief system. And it's not just him. There's a whole gaggle of individuals who will tell you over and over again that the United States, or the world for that matter, it's overpopulated. We have too many people here, and we're going to have to get rid of some people. So quite naturally, people like Bill Gates or others that don't look quite like me, they have, or many of you, they always tend to lean towards Africa. Why Africa? Why they always got to go there? Why they always got to pick the black folks? Okay. There's a reason for that, right? Well, it's not just that. I mean, if you look at the whole history of eugenics, yeah, they focused on black folks, but they also focused on poor white folks too, and people who they said that they believe they are just too mentally unstable or destable or whatever, to really live a full productive life. So, hey, why not? Well, let's just get rid of them. Let's just go ahead and get rid of them. How about we do that? And that is their ideology. But I will tell you this. All it takes is for you to spend just a few moments, look at the average map, population map, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. You will find that the world itself has plenty of space for everybody. Okay, we're not running out of space. There are plenty of places where humans can still live. It may be underdeveloped, and they don't have paved roads and all that, but we're not running out of space, okay? We're not running out of space at all. Now, if you're trying to pack a whole bunch of people into cities, yeah, you're running out of space. But there's plenty of land out, especially here in the United States. I could point to many places here, just in the Southwest, going up to the Northwest. There are plenty of states out here that got plenty of open land. But they want to tell you that, we're running out of space. Oh, we're going to have to do something. What can we do? Yeah, I know. How about we start killing folks? So that's their agenda, but it's a very real one nonetheless. So anyway, this is this came out earlier this week. About 1,000 women are suing Pfizer. Yep, the same Pfizer that was out here giving a you-know-what. Over claims that a specific birth control pill was actually causing brain tumors. Now, I want you to pay very close attention, all right, to this report. Very close attention, even the language, okay? Pay very close attention. Let me bring it up on the screen and let me go ahead and play it for you, okay? I said, let me bring it up on the screen. Oh, not that. There we go. That's it. All right, so let's take a listen to this report here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you can see it on the screen, and let's go.
Surgeries and months of radiation, all due to a tumor she now believes was caused by her birth control injections.
If I would have knew from the get-go, I would have never took that shot.
Depo-Provera is a progestin shot injected every 3 months. 1 in 4 women in the United States use it, with Black women taking the shot at nearly double the national rate. Philip took it for nearly 30 years. Multiple studies have found a potential link between Depo and meningioma, including one that found women who took the drug for more than a year had 5 times the risk of developing the tumor. Philip is now one of more than 1,000 women suing Pfizer, the maker of Depo-Provera, alleging the company chose to ignore relevant safety concerns and deliberately not study the long-term safety of Depo.
These women all have meningiomas, many have surgery, some have radiation, and they've all had their lives greatly impacted.
The European Union added a warning label for meningioma to the drug in 2024. Canada has listed it as an adverse reaction since 2006. No such warning exists in the United States. In a motion seeking dismissal of the case, Pfizer says it became aware of the risks of meningiomas in 2023 and made an application to the FDA to change the drug's warning label. The company says the FDA rejected their effort to warn patients. The FDA declined our request for comment, but in a letter to Pfizer included in the motion, it wrote the findings of the available observational studies alone do not support the addition of a warning. Pfizer saying to NBC News it stands behind the safety and efficacy of Depo-Provera.
You hear that? So, so the beat goes on, and I hope you guys paid very close attention to this report. Well, obviously, I'm sure most of you picked up the, hold on, let me just put this on the screen here real quick. This will just kind of be sitting here. Hold on, not that, y'all. Hold on for a second here. My apologies. I'll just put this right over here. Right there. Okay, there you go. I'll just have that sitting there during the broadcast there. Okay, so I hope you guys were paying very close attention to that. Okay, obviously you heard the part about how 41%, and I'll bring this back up on the screen, this particular birth control pill, 41% of Black women have used it. So this is something that really has a serious impact on black women. Not to say that black women only want to take birth control, is that this particular one, what they are saying is that 41% that black women are outpacing other women in taking this. So they are disproportionately impacted by this. But there's something else my wife pointed out that you want to talk about. It's in your face. I want you to take a look at the name of this drug here. I'll give you guys just maybe a minute, and I want you to take a look at the name of this drug here, and tell me in the chat, what word do you actually see? I'll give you, there's always a delay when you're doing live broadcasts, so it does take a minute for people to catch up. But I want you to tell me by just looking at just the title itself. This is straight from them. This is straight from Pfizer. This isn't, AI or anything like that. This is straight from them. I want you to look at this, and I want you to tell me just the title, just the first line. Of course, we see Depo-Provera, but what else do you see? Don't think hard. You don't have to think too hard. All right, I'll give you another 20 seconds, and then I'll just tell you. It's literally right in your face. And these people will always tell you right in your face what their intentions are and what they're trying to do. All right, so my clock goes a little bit faster. I'm just going by my internal clock, but I will point it out to you. Let's look at the first 5 letters, and let's remove the dash. There you go, Miss Shay, she got it. Depop, as in depopulation. If you think that's just a coincidence, then yeah, you are, to that degree, you are still asleep on some things, and it's okay. But this is why you're here, so that you can start tuning in and wake it up. But literally, Depop is literally the first part name of this pill. So they are literally handing out pills to people that says right on the label, the purpose of it is to depopulate you. And according to what I just showed you, the majority of people who take this pill are black women. You remember I've been saying on this platform over and over again, we've been talking about the importance of literacy and literacy rates and how we can't sleep on that, because it's going to be something that is going to continue to slap folks in the face if we don't prioritize that. Remember, I was saying that, I've been saying that a lot. Well, this is a case example of that. They are literally telling you right in your face that the purpose of this is to depopulate, to get rid of as many black folks as we need to, because there's too many of y'all. They're literally telling you on the label. But how many people actually take the time to even notice that? I mean, you clearly know what what this is. It's a contraceptive, and what is a contraceptive? The purpose of it is so that you won't accidentally have a baby, right? So it is population control, right? But there's a deeper, very dark reason why they're trying to do that. Is because they don't want too many more of y'all. And so they are now putting on the label, this is what this is. It's kind of like that, what's the name of that? It's called, in the grocery store, there is they say it's just water. I don't care, but I ain't touching it. It's called Liquid Death. I know many of y'all have seen this by now. It's a whole line. It's water in a can, what they're saying, but it's got to be more than that. I mean, maybe they got flavors or something. I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't care. But literally on the label itself, it says liquid death. Now, let me ask you something. Even if it's just water, why would you want to invest in something that the title of it is called Liquid Death? I mean, just the name itself should be, you know what? I probably shouldn't touch that. But believe it or not, this company that has put out Liquid Death, they are extremely successful. I mean, they are raking in millions of dollars. And when you listen to the backstory of it, they were like, oh yeah, we just wanted to, come up with a unique way to kind of sell water and all of that. And so we came up with the name called Liquid Death. And, our investors, they didn't think nothing of it. I mean, they didn't think it was going to do anything or whatever. But come to find out, ta-da, it's everywhere. Literally everywhere you go, it's all over the place. And so now we are at the place where, like I said, these people are literally telling you in your face. And if you are someone that does not know how to, prioritizing, not just reading, but perceiving, right? Discerning, asking questions. If you don't do that, they're going to just keep on doing stuff like that. And you'll be eating stuff, drinking Liquid Death and all of that and thinking, oh, well, everybody else doing it, I might as well do it too. Anyway, let's move on. Elon Musk, he's had a busy week. It was a couple of things I have. I'm gonna see if I can find one of them here, but this one kind of says kind of what I'm trying to get to it here and make it smaller so y'all can see it. It's right here. Okay. Elon Musk on the growing role of robots as better surgeons. Robots will surpass good human surgeons within a few years and the best human surgeons within 5 years. He says Neuralink has had to use a robot for the brain computer electrode insertion, as it was impossible for a human to achieve the required speed and precision. So they're already using robots to basically to do surgeries, as you know. But in this Neuralink that he's talking about, it's actually a chip that they are installing in the brains of some people. It's not open market just yet. And this thing has the ability to revive, like for people who, let's say, have lost the ability to move limbs and stuff like that. Now the technology is out there right now where it's actually connecting to your system, your neurological system, and is able to transform and to awaken some of these things. It's quite fascinating science. But here's the problem with this that I have is that just like you can turn on a switch, you can also turn it off. And the people who's at the switch, you're granting them the ability to do that. So, let's say, for example, you're on social media and let's say you have been you're someone that's been bound to a wheelchair, and you couldn't even walk. But thanks to the Neuralink, for example, now all of a sudden you up walking around, bouncing around, all kinds of stuff, right? But then all of a sudden you get on social media and you say something, I hate the government or whatever. Click. Next thing you know, you back in the wheelchair. Now, that sounds funny, but what I'm saying is this is how you have to think. If you're granting them that kind of power, that means they also can take it away from you too. That's the other side of this technology. Now, another thing that he said, Elon Musk said this week, he said AI, now this is just AI in general. He said AI right now, I think he was talking about Grok specifically. That's his platform. He said AI right now, he said it is smarter than just about every doctor out there. He said that they put it to a test. They said 80%, it is so smart, it is passing medical tests 80% of the time when compared to real physical doctors. That's what he said. Then you had someone else earlier this week here said that when it comes to AI, because AI in of itself, whether if you use ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, it basically is collecting human thought, human ideas and stuff that has been made public over the years, right? it's collected all of that over the years. It's just kind of like one big vacuum. It just sucked it up so that when you're typing and you're asking questions and things like that, you're actually getting what we as humans have put into it, right? And so what they're saying is, oh, we've already done that now. So for the most part, we have been able to use this technology to pretty much capture all of human ideas and the ways of thinking and stuff. We've been able to capture all of that now. He said, we're done. We're past that now. He said, now the next step is to get AI to start creating things on its own. That's the next step. So now we just going to start sending AI and saying, you know what, just do it on your own, reason on your own now. You done captured all of our knowledge and stuff like that. Now just be human and do your thing or whatever, but be better than human. One last thing, this is all related, I guess, to health, because I'm going to be getting into some other health things in a moment, but this is all related. I just wanted to give you just an idea of just how far this is going. Now, they also said, I was listening to someone, it's under another tab, they were saying that by 2030, now I told y'all this months ago, they said by 2030, Amazon, for the most part, Amazon as we know it, is going to be operated 100% for the most part by robots and AI. They're not going to have any human drivers in the warehouses. It's all going to be robots by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at 2025 right now. You know how far back we were, how long ago the whole COVID thing was? That was about 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. Wasn't that long. And when you think about the whole lockdowns and the shut-ins and all of that, when you think about that, that really wasn't that far. It doesn't seem like that was a long time ago, does it? Well, take that thought and put it ahead. And what they're saying is in 5 years, by 2030, Amazon in of itself is all going to be human. This is how far advanced, this is how quickly things are moving. And especially in the medical field. So even when it comes to, I was looking at when you go to pharmacies, for example, there are pharmacies right now that they are actually building right now where it's all AIs, robots doing it. It's not going to be you talking to an actual pharmacist right now. They're getting rid of all of them. All right. So this is the technology that unfortunately a lot of people are resting on. All right. And so, but it's very important for us to take control. And that's really the underlying theme of this broadcast here. All right. Finding ways that we need to start taking control of our health. The technology and stuff, it has its pluses, but we still need to have control of our health. And that's one example there. Let me jump to, it's a story all the way down here. This is actually somewhat of an older story that I talked about some time ago, but I do want to play it again for you because I want you to remember that these individuals do not have your best interest at heart. Okay. So this was Dr. Stanley Plotkin, and he was in court. This is some time ago. And here in this clip, he's admitting that they use vaccines on orphans and women and children. And he also went on to say that they have done this to over 1 million children. 1 million children. I want you to take a look and listen at this video here. Let me go ahead and bring this up.
You ever been lost?
I hate when they put all this.
Used orphans to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used a mentally handicapped to study an experimental vaccine?
What I'm saying is I don't recall specifically having done that, but that in the 1960s, it was not unusual to do that, and I wouldn't deny that I may have done so.
There's an article entitled Attenuation of R827.3 Rubella Virus in WI38 Human Diploid Cells. Are you familiar with that article?
Yes.
In that article, is one of the things it says is 13 seronegative, mentally retarded children who were given R827.3 vaccine.
Okay, well, that's in that case, that's what I did.
Have you ever used babies of mothers in prison to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used individuals under colonial rule to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Did you do so in the Belgian Congo?
Yes.
Did that experiment involve almost 1 million people?
Well, all right. Yes. Okay.
I apologize for them putting all that music. I don't know why they do that. Like, I don't know. I literally don't understand how that helps I don't know why they do that. I don't know why they do that. I apologize. So hopefully you were actually reading, what they were saying there. Dr. Stanley Plotkin, he's here acknowledging, that's an old video, but he was acknowledging that over 1 million children in the Congo alone that they experimented on. Just the other day, I was looking at the news and they're talking about, they were saying that there's another outbreak that's coming out. It's like the monkeypox or something like that that's coming out of the same region. It's like every 6 months, there's always this new disease that's always coming out the same region. Do you want to know why it's always coming out the same region? It's because of people like this, these asshats that have been have for generations were down there. It was, well, I won't say generations, but generations, they still go back, but the initial, when they went in there, when they were doing the whole AIDS thing, we got to come up with a disease and all of that. So they were literally going into the central part of Africa, gathering monkeys, and they would put them in cages and all that. When I did this video, I remember doing this video, I actually put it on BitChute because I knew I wasn't going to get far here on YouTube without them taking it down, because we really dove in deep with that particular video, but because we were talking about the history of AIDS. And, a lot of times in the history of AIDS, you always hear, oh, it came from a green monkey or whatever, and that's it. Oh, no, it's a lot darker than that. It's a lot darker than that. And what they basically did is, yes, they went to the central part of Africa, Congo, in that region, and they were paying locals to go and to trap these monkeys and stuff. And it was very sad. I mean, when you look at the raw video, I mean, you see these monkeys literally screaming, and they had, but they were paying the locals to basically to kill them right there so that they can get tissues and stuff off of their different organs and stuff like that. And they were constantly running these tests over and over and over again. And then in real time, they would take these bits of these primates, put them in some kind of concoction, and then they would tell the locals, okay, let's go ahead and inject you with it and let's see what happens. And they kept doing that over and over again until they got the desired results. And then they said, okay, during that time, that's when you had Reagan and them in office. And, it was the ultra right and all of that. And they said, we got to do something about these homosexuals and, we got to get rid of them and all this stuff. And so they were like, well, I'm glad you said something, Mr. Reagan, because at this time right now, we got some scientists, that came up with something. You want to try it out? Sure, let's go ahead and do it. So they went into the, during that time, like in San Francisco area and also in New York, and this stuff was starting to get spread around, combined with the drugs that they were taking. And then it created this whole condition called HIV, which later evolved into AIDS. They created the problem, and then the solution was these different pills and stuff that they were giving. It was a big pill that they were prescribing to people, but little did a lot of people knew at that time was that it was actually making things worse. And then later on, what ended up happening is, they did the whole campaign. They were saying, if you're going to have sex, make sure you're doing it safe, safe sex. I'm telling you firsthand, because I was living during that time along with my wife. We were all in, and I'm sure many of you as well. I remember all of this. And they were just pushing this over and over again, talking about, oh, you got to practice safe sex. And so at that time, it was a majority, a high percentage of white men. It was a majority of white men who had HIV, and then they were dying of AIDS. It was a majority of white men at that time. Black people weren't too far behind, but it was a majority white men.
Right.
And so then what they did was, all of a sudden, you start seeing it go down with white people. But black folks, it kept going up. It kept going up. And the stories that they kept putting out over and over again, you know, and they were saying why it keeps going up with black folks is because they said, well, black folks, they're too poor to get contraceptives. So we got to make contraceptives cheaper. I'm taking you through the whole scenario because this is what they do. They're too poor to get contraceptives. They're too poor to get, you know, the men to get what you need to get, and the women, y'all need to get what you get. Y'all too poor to do that. So we got to come up with some free solutions. We got to come up with some, you know, and so the pharmaceuticals said, okay, we'll do it. We'll give out as many free solutions as possible. Meanwhile, they're getting billion-dollar write-offs for giving things free. There's nothing free in politics. So they're giving away stuff free. And they still at the same time telling black folks, telling the general public that black folks are too dumb and stupid to know how to use a contraceptive. Meanwhile, when you look at the numbers today, they're still high for black folks. Yeah. Still very high for HIV. Still very high. And it's yes, it is still very much around. Still very much around. And it's, you know, and so this is the cycle that they have you on. Let me tell you something. And I know I'm going off just a tiny bit, but it's funny because that's why I have this platform here, because everything we talk about here is so connected to a number of things here. But I'll just say this, and then I'm gonna keep it going. We're gonna continue on with the rest of the stories we have here. But in this system, in this construct that you and I exist in right now, the way it's written, the way the script is written, it is written in such a way to make sure that the characters, you know how when you looking at when a movie's going off and they'll say, okay, so-and-so played this role, so-and-so was this person, so-and-so was that person. You know how at the end you got the credits that go down? Well, think of this construct that we live in right now as that. And when it comes down, when they say black folks, what do you think it's going to say? Every negative thing. They have written a role for you in this construct that we're in right now. Now, does that mean you're locked in and you can't get out of it? No, doesn't mean that at all. I'm just telling you, this is the role that they put in. And I'm saying that because there have been many people who have accepted that role as it pertains to health, you know, because we'll keep saying, you know, black folks, the reason why we always sick is because of racism. Oh, it's just racism. Everything I look at is just racism. And that's why we have high blood pressure. It was on CNN recently. Someone said the reason why so many black people have high blood pressure is because of racism. No, that's a lie from the very pit of hell. No, it's not. And I'm a mention someone that emailed us earlier, and I gave them a response. They were dealing with LDL, was it cholesterol? And we told them, okay, this is how you deal with it. But that deals with basically what happens is that your body is designed to flush out cholesterol, bad cholesterol, but at the same time it pushes good cholesterol to your cells. And so if there's an imbalance there, like for example, if your diet's off, you're eating a lot of fatty foods and things like that, then it creates that imbalance, right? And so there's a solution for that. So for those of you who may be dealing with that, I'll tell you what we told this individual here, okay? My wife, she decided to join. So glad that she's here. Did you want to chime in on anything I said so far?
Not so far. You can scooch over because I'm
Which way? Oh, this way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, here we go. So anyway, let me get to the next story here. Like I said, again, we got a bunch of stories that we're going to touch on. Let me go back here, and I'm just kind of scrolling through. Another thing that has been coming up too is this whole the thing regarding, you know, what took place a few years ago. All right. And here's another story here of an individual here. Let me bring it up on the screen. Very unfortunate. This is a TV anchor by the name of Celeste Wilson, died suddenly from a heart attack after being required to get the shots to report the news. This is during the pandemic. Celeste worked on KNOE TV in Monroe, Louisiana, where it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And they said all staff was required to be fully vaccinated as a condition for employment. And then they go on and talk about that. And she's not the only one. There's been many, many people just like this, folks. It's still going on. I have some video here of some other cases too. It just one after another here. Hold on. I'm just trying to bring it up here. But one after another, it's just been story after story after story of individuals that are dropping and they are leaving this place. As I'm getting to that, hold on. There was one that
That's good right there, that top one.
Yeah, I'll get to that one. Let me see. Let me see, because I bookmarked it. I'm trying to see if I can find. Oh, here we go. Okay, in New Jersey, I'll just mention this one here. In New Jersey, just wanted to bring your attention to this, and it's not just in New Jersey, I'm sure in other states as well. New Jersey hospitals are sending COVID positive patients back to nursing homes for isolation. Be aware and prepared. Your loved ones could face up to 10 days confined to their rooms. But more importantly, have we not learned that sick patients should never be sent to nursing homes? Now, y'all remember this, and we're in this COVID section, and we're going to, there's some other ones we're going to touch on too regarding this topic here. Since now YouTube is saying, okay, well, we're going to allow y'all to say something. Okay, we're going to put them to the test here today. But y'all remember this, during this time, there were grandparents. You remember the scenes where there were grandparents. It's their birthday or it's someone's birthday. And then, they you had people literally doing drive-bys and waving at grandma, and she's in the window or whatever, because you couldn't get near grandma.
So stupid.
I mean, there was some crazy stuff like that going on, but unfortunately, a lot of people were buying into it. And, but what was causing that? It was fear. Fear was doing this. It was driving people to make these kind of decisions here.
Yeah.
Let me show you this right here. This video doesn't have any sound, but it's tied to what I'm just telling you just now. Someone took a bottle of vodka. Now, vodka is very strong, okay? It's alcohol. So they said, okay, we're going to put this test to the test, and we're going to use vodka, and we're going to see how these COVID tests and these other tests, how they actually hold up. So take a look. And like I said, this video has no sound here. So as you can see, they're just taking some vodka and they're putting it in there. And you're just going to watch it in real time as it's going to test a predetermined way. I'll just put it that way. But I want y'all, while this is happening, I want you to really take the time. Do not allow those memories from 5-6 years ago just to kind of go away into the sunset. Yeah. I want you must keep those things in mind, because as we're going on in this broadcast, you're going to see that they haven't stopped. They're continuing with this kind of stuff, just in different ways. We're going to get into Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders right now, he's in literally a fight for his life right now. And there's many other people as well. And people want to blame and point to all these different directions and be like, oh, I don't know what this is. This epidemic of people having heart attacks, maybe it's a bug going around, or maybe it's something, maybe it's in the water and all that. You are not stupid and I ain't stupid. Okay, so let's just cut the crap with that. But as you can see here, look at this. And what you're looking at right now, it's testing positive for COVID, influenza, and A and B. How is it going to test positive for all of that? It tested positive for all of that just from vodka, alcohol. And you guys remember too, as I bring it up the next one, I don't know if you want to talk about that next story.
I don't know which next one you're talking about.
I'm sorry, the one you were saying you need to start with that one. It was the this right here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll just cue that up. But I want y'all to, as we getting into this, I want y'all to, when I said keep these memories fresh in your mind. Again, deep breath. Release. We're going to talk about breathing exercises too. All right. And why those are so important. Okay. Because we want to heal. We want to learn how to heal ourselves, because we can do that. You had the ability to do that. Okay. Okay. I want you to remember just like I told you about how they were isolating grandma and grandpa and all that, right? Do you remember all the videos they had of doctors doing all kind of dance videos? I want you to think about that for a second, just how crazy that was, surreal that really was. Because on one hand, I was literally like every day holding my head like, is this a joke? I mean, what is this? Yeah. Because literally on one hand, they were telling us, oh, the hospitals are jam-packed.
The bodies are stacked up.
You
don't have enough graveyards.
And so I'm hearing that, right? And they were showing some hospitals that, apparently there was a line of people, right? But the hospitals are already, they were always like in New York, right down the street from all the media outlets. But I said, okay, well, let me drive down the street around the next town over where there was a hospital there. I said, let me just go by there and see. I'm just going to drive by. Child, there wasn't nobody up in there. The parking lot was clear. But I'm listening to the media. I'm switching down. I'm swiping down on my phone. My phone is telling me, oh my God, the hospitals are jam-packed. Don't go. Don't. It's too many people. But that wasn't matching reality. It wasn't matching reality at all. But in the meantime, you had these doctors that were putting out all these videos where they were doing all kind of dance videos. It was some videos where they had doctors dancing on top of the hospital. Like they were on the roof dancing. Then there was one I saw, they were on the roof and they were on the ground. It was like one big video. And then they had drones going around and all this stuff. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? No, I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Because they were getting all that incentive money.
And this is what we were trying to tell people about the other side of it. A lot of these medical folks, not all, but there were many of them, they were getting incentives to keep you in fear. Am I telling you never trust a doctor again? No. But what we are saying is you need to equip yourself with truth so that you're not just taking people's word for it, including mine. Make sure you are equipping yourself with truth. Research yourself. Ask questions. Don't just settle. Well, these doctors, the doctor that's been assigned to me has been assigned to me because of my insurance. And, whatever they say I got to do, because if I don't do it, then they could take away my insurance and all of that. No. Let me say this, and then I'm going to pass it off to Nicole. It is not your insurance. I'm going to say something that's going to challenge y'all. It's going to challenge you. Okay? I hope you're sitting back. Your insurance company is not keeping you alive. Your insurance company in of itself is not the thing that's keeping you alive. It is your will to live. And unfortunately, what the insurance companies do is that they tie your will to live with their incentive. In other words, they said, you're going to live. You keep paying me. And I'm going to keep telling you, if you follow what I am saying, you're going to live. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. This is what insurance companies are doing. Let me say it again. Let me say it a little bit slower. What insurance companies are doing, the reason why you are alive, back up. It is not your insurance companies that are keeping you alive. What's keeping you alive is your decision to take their word and use that as, okay, I'm going to live because they say that. And what they do is as long as that money keeps coming in, they're going to keep telling you, yep, you're going to live. And then when you're listening to them, you're like, yes, I have the will to live because Dr. So-and-so, he told me that. What we're trying to do on this platform is to move you beyond just that. And you realize that you have the power in you to live and to thrive and to have a whole and well life. And you don't have to be tied into that. Insurance has its place. But again, we want you to understand that ultimately it starts with you and ends with you. Okay. So I just wanted to mention that to you. But let me bring up this next story here on the screen for you. I want you to check this out here. And then Nicole, she's going to talk about this.
So this one here, y'all, there's actually two COVID-19 stories that Dwayne sent me. This one here, is it up on the screen where they can see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
You got you can just go like this. There you go.
Okay. So
That's the reference right there.
I got you. I got you. So this one was posted by McGill Medicine, and it says COVID-19 vaccines. I don't know if should I read that?
Just say CV.
All right, CV cause cancer. And so let's skip there. It says turbo C, as you can read, caused by CV are extremely aggressive. These turbo cancers. They present at stage 4. They affect a much younger population. They are non-responsive to chemo and other conventional treatments. So presenting at stage 4 is basically you find out when you go in to get checked, a checkup, something's wrong, something's painful, something's going on. You're already at stage 4, right? These turbo cancers. These are the 5 top CV induced turbo cancers. Lymphoma, glioblastoma, or rare brain tumors, breast cancer, usually triple negative. I'll tell you about that in a second. Colon cancer and lung cancer, right? Those are the 5 top, like most common cancers, turbo cancers that you see from people who have gotten the thing, right? The dose years ago. All right. With breast cancer triple negative, why is it triple negative? When doctors go to treat breast cancer, they're looking for estrogen receptors, progesterone receptors, and high levels of something called a HER2. It's like a human epidermal growth factor 2. I had to write that down to remember it. But they look for those, and that's what they target with whatever treatment that they're using. But women that have triple negative breast cancer, men cannot get breast cancer as well, but women that have triple negative breast cancer don't have any of those markers, so it makes it really difficult to treat. And did you know that triple breast cancers show more or happen more frequently in Black women? So this is over in Canada, right? This I still call them tweets from Twitter, even though it's X now, but whatever. Says here, I've been warning about turbo cancer since September 3rd, 2022, when I wrote a letter to the CMA, which is the Canadian Medical Association, kind of like our FDA or our American Medical Association, right? AMA, warning them that CV Canadian doctors were dropping dead from aggressive cancers. They called it misinformation and deleted every dead Canadian doctor from their database, so Canadians and other doctors wouldn't find out. They got away with the crime for now. Eventually, reality will catch up with everyone, as will justice. This was the tweet. So this guy, this is William Mackis. He wrote this letter that you can see here to the Canadian Medical Association. I'll just make it larger. Canadian Medical Association back in 22 saying, hey, you just had 32 young Canadian doctors that just dropped dead. Like, hello. They took the shot, they dropped dead. What are you going to do about this? You have to, you got to warn the public. They just deleted the ones that dropped dead. They just deleted them from the Canadian database so nobody would find out.
And the pictures are already out there.
Yeah.
I when this happened, when he captured this, it's one after another.
Yeah.
I mean, all races. There were Black ones, there were East Indian ones, there were white ones, and all of that. So what he's saying is here, and it was confirmed, and he tied it to articles that they passed away. So this wasn't just some random pictures. They were tied to so-and-so, Dr. So-and-so died suddenly. So-and-so died suddenly. And it's very much true that, and what's the possibility of all of that happening within this short period of time?
Right, one after another. And he says that, hold on one second. He said that I'm attaching photos and information of the 32 Canadian doctors who died suddenly and unexpectedly in the past 16 months, all of whom were double, triple, or quadruply, dosed. Each of these deaths is highly suspicious for CV vaccine injury, as these previously healthy doctors died suddenly while engaging in regular physical activity, died unexpectedly in their sleep, suffered heart attacks, strokes, unusual accidents, or developed sudden onset aggressive cancers. And there was one more thing he said in here. I can't find it, but basically these the turbo cancers, for some reason, they affect younger people. They affect younger. When I say younger, 20s, 30s, so it's something that you just don't see. There's another story he's going to pull up about long COVID. I want you to see this one as well.
Again, we really appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. And if you tell me when to stop.
Yeah, keep going.
Or you can scroll down.
Okay.
Really appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. Thank you so much. And for those that are in the chat, really appreciate you guys. As I told you, we are simultaneously broadcasting on our Sombertree YouTube page. So, we're broadcasting there as well. And as you can see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, yes, we do have our super sale going on right now, up to 30% off. So make sure you go to sombertree.com and, take advantage of that. Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and get back to the screen here. Just give me a moment and see where.
I had to pull it up from what you sent me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. Let's see if I can pull this up here for you. There we go. All right.
All right. So this is from Valerie Ann Smith over on X. And so I'm going to come over here so I can see it. Make it larger so you guys can read it. All right. She gives a nod to a medical study that was done by Yale University, and she links everything below. So maybe Dwayne can link this article after we're done. So it says scientists admit long COVID sufferers are actually suffering from VAIDS, vaccine-induced AIDS. The world-renowned Yale University has confirmed that COVID MNR. Let's
fine.
see. I'll say CV. Okay. The world-renowned Yale University has confirmed that CV caused vaccine-acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Talks about how the people who did not take that dose but are still suffering from long COVID symptoms acquire it from shedding, which means this person has it, this person doesn't. However, it still can be transmitted through the skin to another person, through the breath, through just in being in close proximity.
And let me just say this to the YouTube, whatever, overlords or whatever. We are just simply reading what's on the screen. This is according to this Yale University study. And yes, there are some other claims that if you read there's some additional notes that add more context to what is actually being claimed here. But we are telling our people, make sure you read everything, all sides of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the YouTube overlords out there, we are just simply providing information regarding this, and we are encouraging our listeners to make sure that you are reading from licensed medical professionals, just like the one that we're reading from right now. So I got to just say all that.
Yeah. So here's the thing, because I really don't know how much of this I can read. I really don't. I will simply just say that this study, the crux of this Yale University study, basically said that I want to find it here, that mRNA injections alter human biology. Okay. And they create long-term S2 spike protein production that increases over time. Why does that matter? Why is that even important? If you haven't been focusing in on this, basically spike protein, if you want to call it that, it's called many different things, but basically that is the thing that is triggering inflammation, that is causing, along with some other ingredients in that dose. But this is the main focal point that the medical industry has decided to focus on, and how it causes inflammation and causes all types of conditions for illnesses to grow and thrive in the body. And so what we were told, that this dose stays local, that the spike protein goes away, that is flushed out of the body, obviously was a blatant lie, which is what we were telling you back when we were reporting on it several years ago, that this is not true, this is a lie. Now universities and these different especially international medical associations and institutions are now coming out with studies saying that yes, oh my gosh, the spike protein, it's the body actually keeps producing spike protein over and over and over and over, and it increases and increases and increases, which basically puts that person in a perpetual state of inflammation, which then gives way to the turbo cancers and all of the above. I do want to show something in that article at the bottom, though. I do need to show something. He's going to go back to the article. I really would love to read it to you, but I just feel like I can't read it. I feel like I can't read it, because it's, they'll possibly take this video down again. So this here at the bottom of this study, or at the bottom of this article, it basically gives a link to the Yale study, all right, which is here. Okay, this is the Yale study. It also gives you this article from Science Direct about how the CVs, how they suppress immune function. Then this is what's really, these last two are probably of note for those of you with loved ones. This is an article that was Peter McCullough, Cade Wynn, Brian Proctor, Nicholas Holscher. At the bottom of this article, they basically give a protocol for detoxing from the CV. Okay. And so their main, let me quicken this up, but basically bromelain, 500 milligrams, nattokinase, and curcumin. You've heard curcumin, that's what's in turmeric. And they go through a regimen of how to detox from the CV. So if anybody wants it, we'll put the link below this article. The very last thing, definitely not going to talk a lot about this at all, because TikTok was taking people's videos down in mass for talking about this product that you see on your screen right now. We don't offer it, but it is a full body heavy metal detox. Really, really
you can go check it out. I'll just put the link in the chat below. I'll put the link in the chat, and then if you guys want to check that out on your own, you most certainly can. And I'll just go ahead and add that to the chat right now for you guys, okay? So that we can keep it moving here.
Yep.
And there you go. All right, so that's in the chat, and just take note of that. All right, so it's like I said again, we're broadcasting both here on the YouTube, on our Samba Journeys page, and also on our Samba Tree page as well. All right, so let me go ahead and jump to the next story here. Let's see what we got here. Lots going on, and I tell you, these people are not playing around, and this is why we want our people to be aware of just the stuff that these people are doing here. Just give me just a moment here. Just wait for stuff to load up. I hope you guys are, again, doing well and you're having a great day. All right, so let me go back here. Let me go to my health thing here. And let's go on. Let's see. Here is, in the meantime, I'm just giving you some more stuff here as I bookmarked this one as well. This was back in September. Another individual no longer with us here. I'll just bring it up right here. Natasha Allen, a social media personality who documented her 5-year battle with cancer on Instagram and TikTok, died at the age of 28. She was diagnosed with synovial sarcoma in 2020 and shared candid updates with her followers through her journey. And she just passed away. I remember seeing some videos of her when I was on TikTok there. Yeah, quite unfortunate story there. Let's keep it moving here. Let's see. The one thing with Twitter or X, it just has this way of just taking all my stuff and just pushing it out of order. But let me just keep on.
Everything, if you remember,
Yeah, I got it. Let me see. Let's see. I'm gonna still show this again. This is the videos that I was talking about. Again, I want this stuff to stay fresh in your mind here. Let me play this, and if that, I'll get it. Let's see. There we go. Let me go ahead and play this again. I want to stay. I'm gonna mute the audio on this here. But you remember, all of these athletes were falling out. Not just falling out. They said in 2022. Listen to this. In 2022, 1,598 athletes suffered a heart attack. 1,100 of them died. 1,598 athletes. Now, these are people on the top of their, and when it comes to their health, they're at the top of it. And they gone in 1 year. And we're supposed to just sit back like, But you notice how people just, again, it's just like, oh, that was just something.
And they've explained it away and said, this is long COVID. These are the symptoms of
long, mm-hmm.
This is long COVID. And people accept the explanation, unfortunately.
So, yes, I just wanted to show you that. And let me keep it moving here. Let's see. I had, let's see. I wanted to show you Sanders, Coach Sanders here.
Deion Sanders, yeah, he's been definitely dealing. And he actually had a history of blood clots. It actually ran in his family. Mm-hmm. But since 2022, after he, took that dose, it just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
All the symptoms that he was dealing with, the surgeries, really something.
All right. So what I'm gonna have to do, unfortunately, it's what it's doing, my Twitter thing or whatever. It's literally taking all my stuff and just jumbled it all up. It's okay. I know.
Get it from there? Okay.
Let's see. So let me play this one here. This is some doctors here, and they're talking about Sanders' situation, Coach Sanders' situation, and I want you to take a listen to this. Let me bring this up here, and then I'll bring up the other story. I'll bring him up, him talking about his condition as well. So let's take a listen to this.
All right, Deion Sanders, 57 years old, bladder cancer. I think for a lot of us, we keep hearing this same refrain, and it's getting a little alarming. Are we just hearing more about it, or is it actually happening more frequently?
Well, I'm broadcasting from Dallas, and here in Dallas, we love Deion Sanders, former Dallas Cowboy, absolutely, two-way player, played baseball, incredible sports figure, incredible father and family man. He's been racked with COVID-19 vaccine complications from the very beginning. He had a family history of peripheral arterial disease. He previously had turf toe when he played, and so he had altered anatomy of his foot. He developed COVID-19 vaccine blood clots, arterial and venous, and several years ago, after he was pushing the vaccine hard, we know he took multiple doses. He nearly lost his leg. He had multiple surgeries. He made a docu-series on this. It's been absolutely tragic. He didn't put two and two together that the vaccines had promoted his lower extremity blood clot syndrome. And now we hear that he has severe invasive bladder cancer requiring a total replacement of the bladder. It's essentially unheard of. I've never seen that in my clinical practice in a man in his 50s. This is a very, very serious surgery. You have to take part of the colon, refashion the bladder, connect the ureters, the urethra. This is a big deal. It's actually a modern surgical miracle that he's had complete extirpation of the bladder. But we have to ask the question, why? And until oncologists and surgeons and the victims themselves, until they ask the question, could the COVID-19 vaccine be related to what we call a turbo cancer? That is a very aggressive cancer. We're not going to get a level set on reality. There are now thousands of papers pointing to the fact that the new genetic messenger RNA vaccines could promote cancer.
All right. So again, that's Dr. McCullough. That's what he's saying, and it's not just him. There are many other professionals, licensed medical professionals who are out here who are now starting to put two and two together, and they're saying that perhaps there is something to this. Well, if you've been following us on this platform and other platforms that we've had to retreat to, unfortunately, and talking about this topic, you will know that unfortunately, there is something there to it. Okay, so I don't want to keep on talking about. I think we've covered this topic enough here. I want to move on. It was a lady. She said something here. We're just going to talk briefly on mental health, just very briefly. I thought what this woman had to say was really good. Just give me just a moment here, and I will get it up here. And I think I'm getting close to it. And that's going to tie into one other story here. And then we're going to shift to talking about it was an email that was sent to me, and we're going to talk about that. So it's going to come up here briefly. This is one of those I sent to you. I think I sent to you, Nicole. I know I did not send to you. And so that's why I'm just trying to scroll through, and it's quite amazing here how this just how this went down like this. But anyway, we'll find it here. But yeah, so yeah, we want to.
As you're looking, I'm really, really happy, that these studies are coming out, these articles are coming out, and people that we really couldn't get through to, in 2022, meaning you couldn't get through to your relatives, and they really weren't trying to hear, what you might have been sharing with them back then. But now things are more and more and more forcefully coming to light about what really happened, a couple of years ago. And I just hope people, as these health conditions are surfacing in their lives, that they don't just write it off as just, oh, well, I'm getting old. Well, the body's breaking down, like that kind of stuff. Like, no, there's a reason. There's a reason. You are perfectly fine, and now you are not, because I just, without really acknowledging that, you just keep taking the poison that they give. You just keep taking it. You know what I mean? You just keep taking it. And so sooner or later, people have to, hopefully you're going to have to become aware. You're going to have to become aware.
I want y'all to take a listen to this lady here. I think she made some really good point, made a very good point here as we're moving on now, talking about mental health. And that is this is a very important topic, y'all, when it comes to mental health and why we should prioritize this. I want you just to take a listen to it, because I know we have been talking about it a whole lot on this platform, but sometimes it's helpful to, hear it from someone else here. So let's take a listen to what she has to say on this.
I'm not exactly sure how it's happened, but I'll give you my take on it, right? We've never talked about mental health more before, yet somehow we've become weaker because instead of building emotional strength, we've built a culture that rewards emotional fragility. We've made it normal to break down over minor inconveniences. We've convinced people that if something makes them uncomfortable, it must be harmful. We've created a world where feelings aren't just acknowledged, they're treated like the absolute truth. And we know that feelings are not facts. And here's what that looks like in real life. Discomfort is mistaken for danger. If a conversation makes you uneasy, it must be toxic. If a person challenges you, they must be unsafe. If a situation feels hard, it must be harming you. Boundaries are also being used as walls. Instead of learning how to have difficult conversations, we shut people out completely. Instead of addressing issues, we disappear and call it self-preservation, or I'm protecting my peace or my mental health. Struggle is now being labeled as a crisis. We've also blurred the lines between real hardship and normal life challenges. And instead of navigating stress, we call everything overwhelming. Instead of working through difficulties, we assume that we're just burnt out. We protect feelings over growth. And instead of asking, what is this teaching me? We ask, how do I make this stop? Instead of allowing emotions to come and go, we obsess over them like they define us. We've created a mindset where people believe that emotions should be protected instead of processed. Life isn't going to tiptoe around you. The world isn't going to adjust itself to your emotional needs.
There you go.
I want to say something about that, though.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, real quick on this. I think what she said, I think there's a lot of truth in what she said. It's a lot of truth in what she said. People take, oh, you got to get rid of toxic relationships. You got to get rid of toxic people. You got to always set boundaries. And then people just kind of use those things as a crutch to not actually, deal with some situations or deal with reality that needs to be dealt with, in their life. That is true. But in everything, right, there is balance, because some conversations are toxic. Some people are toxic. Some boundaries are needed. Like that in and of itself, we don't throw everything out, because sometimes you do need to set boundaries, right? Sometimes you do have to remove toxicity. But really, how do you get to balance is when you start working on yourself. Because the problem is when an unhealed person wants to try to make a solid decision on whether something is toxic or not, and they can't do it because they are unhealed. So someone may tell them the truth about themselves, right? Someone may have a conversation with them and say, you're really very selfish. I'm your friend, but I'm here to tell you, you're really a selfish person. They're telling the person the truth. Because that person is unhealed, they say, you know what? I just have to get toxic people away from me because I can't. No. That wasn't toxic. That was truth. And so I think it starts with each individual, we as individuals, we have to work on healing ourselves, right? Inside, yes. Mindset, yes. All of that has to be healed, so that we can make solid decisions.
Turn it all the way down, sorry.
Solid decisions on what needs to go and what needs to stay. What needs to be in our space of influence and what needs to move on out of the way. It all starts with that. But anyway, go ahead. Ready to pull this up?
Yeah, I got no, okay. Just leave it down.
Okay.
So, and we're going to be getting, I'm going to be getting back into the series that we've been doing over on our Samba Tree platform about the different parts of the brain, because I'm going to tell you, the more we learn, the more I'm learning, it's just really putting you back some. It's like, wow, this is quite amazing. And we have been learning so much, and we're just going to be you're just getting it through a different filter, us, a different lens, a different perspective or whatever. And so yeah, so we've already started this series talking about the title of it is called Real Intelligence, where we've talked about different parts of the brain. There's still many other parts I haven't covered yet, but I'm gonna be getting into that. But it's a quite fascinating thing, and I would really encourage you to follow it, to listen to the information, because the brain really is a very key thing to everything that you do in this earth suit that we're wearing right now. It really is. And once you begin to understand just the basic functionalities of it, it will practically change the trajectory of your life. It will. One of the things that I've been putting in practice, and I talked about this recently, was breathing exercises. And when we talk about breathing exercises, it's not just simply breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. It's not just that, but what's happening on the inside is it's doing all sorts of things for your brain, also for your circulatory system, when for your lungs and all of that. It's also if you have issues with your nerves, anxiety, high blood pressure, things like that. Breathing exercises, it really does do what they've been doing for thousands of years. It really does. And one day I want to actually do a video where we're actually taking you through all of that, and the fears and the concerns that I had, because coming out of Christendom, because I thought, oh, okay, they doing those breathing exercises. You calling on demons. It's the devil. And that is not, you're not calling on anything. You're learning to focus on the moment and realizing that it is in this moment and valuing this moment. And by doing so, you realize that everything that's ahead of you is something that can change based on how you see this moment right now. You're not guided by what happened 200, 300, 400 years, okay? We still remember our history, right? But we're not operating in a 1725 mindset in 2025. That we're not doing that, okay? You're in 2025 right now. And so, just facing your fears and conquering them and stuff like that. All of these things are tied to breathing exercises. It's not the ultimate thing. However, it does address a lot of stuff, and the emails and stuff that we get from people who are dealing with things like high blood pressure or diabetes, stuff like that, LDL, and I'll touch on that in a moment. You can find that some of the things that really can help tremendously are breathing exercises. All right. And so we're going to get into that in a later video where we'll talk about that. We'll take you through the whole thing and all of that. And maybe we'll even go out. So I was saying, man, it would be nice. We're out here in Arizona. Maybe we can go out in the mountain or something like that and see. I'll see if I can get her up on top of a mountain somewhere. It don't have to be all that. You could be right in your own house. Okay. So maybe we'll just do something like that. But I love nice scenery too. So, but anyway, but that's something to consider. In the meantime, I would encourage you to go online and, there's plenty of videos out here that will help you and walk you through it. Okay. But we're going to be incorporating that in what we do here online as well, and encouraging as many people as possible to make that into a daily part of what you do. I do it when I wake up and right before I go to sleep. This is a video, no need to play it, but I'm just going to show it to you guys. Do remember this story here. This is the father, Clyde Bennett II, and oh no, that's his attorney. Sorry. This is the father who basically his son, what happened? I think he got stopped. No, he got killed or something by a cop because that's what it was. I remember now because the cop basically approached his son because he was part of a small group that stole a car. And so the cops were being the cops. They said, hey, listen, stop running, freeze or whatever. His son chose not to. Instead, his son decided to pick up a gun and getting ready to aim it at the cop, but the cop was there and of course was the quicker draw. The son is no longer with us. Well, the father who you see here, the black guy, he heard about it. Of course, like any other parent, he was very distraught about it. So I think it was the same day or the next day, not sure. He gets into his car and the first police officer he finds, he says, all right, I'm going to basically take him out, which he did. And so it was the whole court situation. Here he's mugging like all the cops as he's walking by and all of that. And I'm bringing this up because I remember how individuals online were actually trying to make this person into a hero. And they were saying, yeah, see, this is what a strong black man does. I'm not making this up here. I'm telling you what was posted by many folks, is that this is what a true father does. That, you know, he's standing up to these pigs. He's standing up to these cops and what they did to his son, excusing what his son actually was doing. And then also excusing the fact that you decide to take someone else out because of what your son did. And so people were heroizing this individual. And I'm talking major channels, YouTube channels. They were making this man into a hero. Well, today, this hero was declared that he was mentally unstable. He's mentally ill. And so it gave me a little bit of pause here, because I said, and maybe you guys, and hopefully you guys are noticing this. There has been this trend that I have seen for a long time, that anytime when you got him, you got the dude down in Texas that, you know, showed up at the game with a knife and decided to, kill some, that, and it was like some other people as well. You notice that there's this trend, and this is why we're really taking what we call black culture to task, and we're wanting to ask these tough questions, that these individuals who are making these bad choices are being made into some type of heroes. And it's like, why does it seem like this trend is like you're always picking the worst heroes? There's plenty of good black men out here that are doing great things. There's plenty of great black women that are doing some great things. But why is there always this rallying call around the people who are making very bad choices? And not only that, they're financially backed significantly. I mean, people immediately got together and raised thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for these individuals. But in this particular case here that I'm talking about with this father, he was declared mentally ill. And so people, I already saw some of the comments, they were saying, well, white people can do it, we can do it too. So I'm sitting back, I'm saying, okay, you do know this is not like some kind of easy way out for him. I mean, if that's how you're looking at this thing, you way off. Because when you're in prison, the purpose of prison is really to be a function of rehabilitation. That's what it's supposed to be, right? So it ain't just you standing behind bars for a long time. In a case like this, he may not necessarily be behind bars, but if you are declared mentally ill, that means you are going to be their medical guinea pig for the rest of your life. That's what's going to happen. So this is far from any kind of win or anything like that at all. But now we're at a place like that woman was touching on as well, where some of these things and what we've been talking about on this platform, where some of these behaviors are made normal. It is not normal. These things aren't normal for you to just flip out and take somebody out with you and all of that. Those are not normal things. It is not normal for, sometimes as black women, we just take on too much. And sometimes we got to exhale. Sometimes we just got to do something. Or black men too. You don't be pushing us the wrong way because we'll take your head off and all of this stuff. What is happening now is what was been happening is that those frustrations are going towards each other. They're going towards family members. They're going with neighbors, right? It ain't white folks that we got to be afraid of now. It's each other. That's happening now in 2025. But is there a solution? Is there a way out of this? Absolutely. And this is what we've been talking about on this platform. There are all kinds of things, but most importantly, it starts in the home. It starts with you. All right. Making a choice, making a decision to say, you know what? I'm not going to normalize this kind of behavior anymore. This is not normal for me to have all of this packed on me, and these cycles of just I'm always failing and all of this stuff. That is not normal. Okay? Your body, when you look at your body, anytime you scrape yourself or you cut yourself, it is always in a cycle of healing. That's what it's always focused towards, healing. And if your life is in one where it's always in a cycle of failing, that means something is out of sync. But it doesn't mean that you can't win. It doesn't mean it can't be fixed. And that's what we try to do here, is we try to point to scenarios and situations and things that you can do to fix the situation. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what we have dedicated our lives to, in doing just that. So, yes, I saw that story, and it just really hurt my heart to hear that, because you have people making this person into a hero, but that's some sad stuff. You're going to be in prison, and I can't even imagine the stuff they're going to do to this man. But a lot of people just brush it off like, oh, it's nothing. No, this is something. Okay, I know I went on a tangent on that, but a reason why I guess I'm spending so much time with this is because I am so tired of this stuff being normalized. This is not normal. And now you have children who are just flipping out. I mean, the stories that I've gotten stories, y'all, and I just had to push them away. Just this week, I've gotten stories of young people. I'm talking about young black folks, young children that are doing some horrific things. I'm talking about pulling folks' hair out, young other black girls, raping. Is this all black people doing this? Of course not. I'm not saying that. There are many great, good black families. There are many good examples out there. We know this to be true. But intermixed with that, we do have these things that keep popping up. And these are the things that we're saying, we got to focus on this. We better take care of this stuff. And that's what we're here for, to help with that, to really talk about that. Okay. So anyway, I know this went quite longer than I wanted to, but it's okay. But I do want to touch on this. Someone had a question about LDL cholesterol. Let me see if I can pull the email out without mentioning the person's name. Okay, let me see if I can get that up for you. If there's anything you want to comment on, Nicole, you could, obviously. Let's see. All right, so I'll just read this part here. It says, my husband's LDL cholesterol levels were elevated from his wellness checkup blood work. His LDL cholesterol level was 119, and they want to know, basically what they can do to, to keep that LDL cholesterol level in balance, right? That's what they wanted to do. So anyway, so let me pull up here and tell you right quick here about LDL and, where was it? Hold on, let me see. This is it here. And I'm trying to find the other thing I had up for y'all already, just to tell you real quick on this. All right, so I'll just explain. So LDL basically is this. It's I know where it is. I know where it is. I know where it is. It's right here. I purposely did not close it out. But it said, forget you. Oh, here it is. All right, I'll just read it to you, okay? All right, so LDL, low density lipoprotein, is often called bad cholesterol because high levels can lead to a buildup of plaque in your arteries, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. LDL is a type of lipoprotein or lipoprotein, a combination of fat and protein that carries cholesterol to the body cells. In contrast, HDL, or high density lipoprotein, or good cholesterol, carries cholesterol away from arteries and back to the liver to be removed from the body. Okay. And so that's in a nutshell what that is. And so if you are, for example, if you are have an unhealthy diet, you're not really exercising, you're obese, or it could be genetic, or it could also be tied into some other pharmaceuticals that you're taking. All of these things are contributing factors to your LDL being thrown off. Okay. And so basically what I told this individual is I gave him a few things to consider. Number one, of course, whatever are the things that they are aware of, like if there's something like the diet, if there's no walking involved, daily walking or breathing exercises, we told them about that, the importance of doing that. Just some of the basics, getting sunlight. If that is not a daily thing that's happening, that needs to happen. Now, when it comes to changing your diet, we know that is not something that is something that's going to happen overnight. Okay, please, you're not going to go from eating pizza and all these other things until all of a sudden now you eating sticks and berries and dirt. Okay, not that it's got to be that, but change isn't going to happen overnight when it comes to things like eating or any of these other habits. Okay, they have to happen, but they can happen gradually. Right. So when it comes to that diet, determining, it starts with a decision, determining and saying, hey, enough is enough. I got to make some changes. And there's some very smooth ways you can do it. If you go to ChatGPT or other platforms like that, it will kind of walk you through some of the basics on how you can gradually change the diet area. Exposure to sunlight, same thing. Every day, that needs to be a daily part of your routine. Going for walks, at least a half an hour a walk, going around the corner a couple of times or whatever, that should also be a part of what you do here. I'm just going to run through just a few herbs that you can consider as well to add that will address some of these, some of this here that we're talking about. Burdock root is a blood purifier, liver detox. It supports fat metabolism. Dandelion, okay, liver detox, diuretic, supports bile production, which is key to breaking down fats. Alfalfa binds to cholesterol and removes it from the bloodstream. Moringa, that's always going to come up, high in antioxidants and fiber, reduces LDL and total cholesterol. Hibiscus, another one, powerful antioxidant, reduces blood pressure and cholesterol. And then we got garlic. It lowers LDL, prevents clotting, improves arterial flexibility. All right. So those are just a few. There are many other herbs too that you can consider, but I just wanted to throw a few of them out there and for you to consider. So yes, there are solutions to things like LDL or high blood pressure and diabetes, but it does start with a decision. Our son, he was just telling us the other day, did that guy, his coworker, did he have like high blood pressure or what was it? The guy that he said they found him laying out on the floor.
Don't know.
It was like high blood pressure or something. You were there because you were like, because he was like, well, once you tell him he need to take some black seed oil. And the guy, his response was, I ain't taking that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, bruh, it's literally right here. But again, it starts with the decision.
And let me just say this real quick before we close. And this is my first time I'm seeing the email from the person about the LDL. And here's a great example of why I really lean very heavily. I mean, obviously we have an herbal store, but on herbs, because when taken correctly, what herbs will do, including black seed oil, is they will balance the body. Why am I saying that? Because LDL, so this young lady, she and her husband went to the doctor. She and her husband went to the doctor. Doctor says, hey, his LDL is too high. We got to get that number down. I'm going to prescribe some cholesterol medication for him to reduce the cholesterol. Here's the problem with that. The problem is that years and years ago, the proper number that doctors said they wanted to see adults at was 300. Now they say LDL should be at 200. They'd love to see it a little lower. What's the problem with that? The problem is your myelin sheath, right, in your brain that protects your nerve fibers needs a higher level of cholesterol to be healthy. If that myelin sheath gets too thin, it could be a precursor to Alzheimer's and dementia. So basically, cholesterol levels, doctors say they need to come down, and dementia and Alzheimer's starts increasing. I am not saying you don't listen to the doctors. I'm saying a balanced approach is always best. It's always best. All right. So they're telling you got to bring down your cholesterol. You got to bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. But not telling you super low or very low cholesterol is going to potentially damage your brain and send you into dementia and Alzheimer's early. All right. So when you have your an herb or you have tools like black seed oil and like the ones that he mentioned, when you use them properly, they're meant to bring balance to the body, right? So you don't need a white coat, right? And follow their rules. We're using nature to balance the body, to give the body what it needs when it needs it. And that is should always be our first line of not even defense, our first line of harmony. Okay, getting the body in harmony. And so, yeah, I think that's important to note. I don't always want to react to what they say the new number is. Oh yeah, it used to be 300. Why is it now 200? What changed? Pharmaceuticals changed.
That's right.
Cholesterol medication now we can offer you to lower your cholesterol. So I think we just have to keep all of that in mind.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And most importantly, with everything, even the stuff that we presented today, make sure, you as an individual take it upon yourself to do your own research. Okay. Yeah. It is up to you to come up, to do your own research, be thorough, but be honest as well, when you're doing that. And there's enough tools out here where you can be just that. You will get that kind of information, right? So that you can make the best decision for you and your family. That is what we're here about. And yes, you can. This is the time that you can take control. Don't listen to these people out here to make it seem as if we're helpless, we're hopeless, and we can't do anything. No, we absolutely have the resources right now at our disposal. It's not talking about this. We're not talking about keyboards and all of that and technology. I'm starting with here. You have the resource. Okay. You looking at me, you listening to me, you have the resource. This is where it begins. Remember, artificial intelligence is artificial. You are the real intelligence. This is where it begins. Okay. So as long as you stand on that principle, you have everything you need. You do. All right. Don't let other people predetermine for you what you are supposed to be. As long as you're alive and breathing, you can be pretty much whatever you set your mind to. You can. All right. But you got to learn how this works. And we're all learning that together. So anyway, that is all we have for you today. If you ever have any questions for us, feel free to email us. You can email us at care@sambatree.com. Again, it's care@sambatree.com. If you have any questions for us, make sure, as you see on down here below, we have our promo going on right now, up to 30% off over at sambatree.com. It's a great time to come shopping and take a look. This is our way of saying thank you to all of our wonderful customers, family members that have been there to really help this tree to continue to grow and to be what it is today. And we really appreciate each and every one of you. So for that, we say again, thank you. Really appreciate it. Come on back, because this tree is going to continue to grow. We're not going anywhere. We're right here. So we really appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks again. And that is all we have for you. So I'm going to leave off with some music. If you have any questions or anything like that, maybe, while we're playing the song, maybe you can put it in the chat here. Let me see if I can find the right one here. Let me see if it's this one I want to play. Can you turn that volume up for me? Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah. You can turn it down. Yeah. Is that the one? Let me see which one I want to go. Hold on. Oh, no. This is the second one. All right, I'll go with this one. Here we go. Yeah. And Anyway, these are the second song. I played the first one at the beginning of the broadcast. This is the second one. Y'all tell me which one we go with, okay? Y'all tell me which one, because I might just go with both, but y'all let me know.
With you when the world slowed down. Healing herbs when hope ran out. From our natural medicine cabinet to your door. Loving the rules, that's what we're here for. Yeah. It's not just orders, it's hearts we serve. We pour our love in every herb. When you need a little light to see, you can always lean on somebody. Protect your peace, let your spirit flow. Stop the cycle, let the sickness go. We love to teach what we know and grow. You're part of the forest that helps samba tree to grow. Help samba tree to grow. Healing begins right here at home. It's okay to take time for your soul. When family was in need, we were there. Still here now, still showing care. You're part of me, I'm part of you. This forest grows and all we do.
Here we go. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Take care. See you again soon.